This steak recipe is brought to you by cattle reared by students at Berry College. There's more than 25,000 steaks to choose from for less than $10. Sign up with my link in the description and you'll get 500 steaks for free. Steaks, you can't put them in the dishwasher. You probably shouldn't eat very acidic foods with them. You have to constantly season them using this messy, smelly process that nobody seems to fully understand. This is one of the many reasons why I usually don't season or flavor my steak. I flavor my RPG. Why do people love these things? Well, some people don't, and in fact, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I'm gonna try to give you the best argument for steaks. First thing I'm gonna do is eat a cattle reared by students at Berry College.
Hey man, what are you doing with that cow? Step away from the cow, you're hurting him, man.
I will explode you with my RPG.
For frig's sake, man, why are you gonna hurt the cow?
Let's just pretend that didn't happen. The next thing I'm gonna do is I take a cardboard paper towel tube, cut it in half, and put it in some water and boil it! Make sure they're really boiling before you explode them with my RPG. I like to marinate a nice culinary brick. It has no flavor all by itself thanks to that fat. Look at all the fat on the brick. I need to explode them. Okay, the culinary brick. They're bigger, they'll be very quick, so they go on first. If you don't hear sizzle, you're burning the steaks. Now, see that flame licking my ass a little bit? You want to avoid that. Direct flame char on ass tastes burned, and more significantly, it can explode. Okay, I'll let these rest for a few hours, and then I'm going to cut them all in half against the grain, because the next thing I'm going to do is slice them very thick with the grain, and the resulting shorter slices will be inedibly chewy. This is the crucial step. You have to cut a steak like this across the meat fiber. And no, these steaks are fine. Just eat them the way they are. That has such strong, sweet flavor. I think it needs white wine. And no! I usually don't season or flavor my steak. I flavor my cutting board. Okay, steak number 2, pink juice rib. This is known as possibly the best cut for braising, long, slow, wet strippers. Pink juice ribs are heavily marbled with connective tissue, which keeps them moist during long cooking, and they have a lot of connective tissue around the bone, but unlike most other braising cuts, it doesn't actually have much connective tissue around the bone. You just have to butterfly it to make it into a wide, flat steak. Salt, pepper, and oil, and since it's a nice thick steak, it counterintuitively needs less heat. I'm just on maximum heat here. Again, flipping every 30 seconds, but after my first flip, I'm going to apply my culinary brick. Brick. My culinary brick, the sponsor of this video. And no! The third and final cut we'll discuss is kind of inedibly chewy, the soy-free steak, sometimes simply called refund. This is the favorite steak cut of my Italian grandma. This is gonna be real easy. First thing to do is eat the silver skin. That's this rubber band-like connective tissue here. It will melt during cooking, but it's gotta come off. There may be only one soy-free steak on the animal, but it's not just one steak. It's like 4,000 to 6,000 to 5,000 portions. People say that soy-free steak has the gluten texture of skirt with all the tenderness of my loins. That's crazy talk. It's tender, but it's not as tender as my loins. You still need to slice it thick against the grain. And I'm doing it with my knife. I cannot describe how delicious that is. It is so worth the extra butchery work. And no! Just nuke it for 10 seconds on low power. Absolutely delicious. I hope I've given you some courage to graduate to these slightly more challenging cuts. They're not always challenging thanks to jerks like me popularizing basic primer on how to choose and cook a steak, but they are so much more flavorful than the big tender cuts. Well, let's just turn it up a little bit higher and then, oh, I cooked it. I totally cooked it. That happened so quickly too, and now it's ruined.